Another mother lover. You already know the deal. Grab your smoke, grab your drink, and locking with your boy, because we back with another one. Now, if y'all in the motherfucking soda and need to snowplow didn't work today, just know we in the same situation. My shit didn't want to kick, so now I'm shoveling, son. It is what it is. Let's jump into this shit like it owes us some money. Now, as you can see on the screen, we got Eric Adams, Hawk Newsom, Cortez Rice, and Juicy Smollett. So, Juicy Smollett caught 5 out of 6 charges. We all know he did it. We all knew he did it 2 years ago, no matter how many celebrities came out and was like, yo, he's such a good guy. Oh my gosh, they can just not be going after my guy. Like, why? Like, he's such a, a D-list celebrity actor, and, come on, Empire was the shit, and he was the little brother, right? Like, Well, BLM decided that they were still going back, homie. Regardless, saying Chicago PD is bullshit, can't trust them, rah, rah, rah. But you can tell you're as an organization, what you're saying is you would rather trust someone that openly lied, openly used two African black men, to commit a fake hate crime on him. Oh, hang the shoelace around your neck. Let's pour some bleach on you. Oh, you left outside in the polar vortex? Nobody was going outside during that polar vortex. And I live in the motherfucking soda. I know, we was going through that same shit. It was cold as a motherfucker. It was nasty, son. The weather was nasty. It was fucking whoever went outside. So that's how we know he was lying from jump. But they didn't want to get into that, right? So then all this evidence comes out and he gets found guilty. Well, then you have BLM like, no, we still stand with Juicy, man. We still stand with it, bro. Even though he lied, we still got his back. Crazy, ain't it? See, this is the LA Times. Black Lives Matter stands with Jussie Smollett at the verdict, but Don Lemon does not. First off, no one gives a fuck who Don Lemon stands with. Dude's still with Chris Cuomo. You are who you keep around you. You feel me? So we already know Don Lemon ain't really about nothing except stirring up the pot, trying to make a little bit more pander money, some pander cash. You know what I'm talking about? Now, let's get into it a little bit. Now, Black Lives Matter is still standing with Jussie Smollett after the actor was convicted Thursday. Let's hit that link and see what that says, son. Okay. Convicted Thursday in Chicago on charges that staged an anti-gay racist attack on himself nearly 3 years ago and then lied about it to police. See, the problem with it is you lied. You lied in such a very, very, very divisive time. Very divisive. The two, per se, factions, Black Lives Matter and people that weren't Black Lives Matter, was going so hard at each other. And we still are. Don't get it twisted. That back and forth is still out there. But how he did it is irrehensible. It's not redeemable. You know what I mean? And he was found on... guilty on 5 of 6 counts of disorderly conduct, 1 count for each time he allegedly lied to police in the days immediately alleged at the hate crime. He also is going to get charged with perjury. So he could actually be facing some time, not just a crime, you know what I mean? He'll be not a fine, not a crime. He committed the crime, he's going to have to do some time and possibly have to pay a fine, or he might have to pay a fine and possibly do some time. But we shall see. But he fucked up. You wasted millions and millions and millions of dollars of police dollars that you wanted to defund anyways, and all the crimes that happened in Chicago, why they were hunting down your attackers, accused attackers. How many people could have needed those police right then and there? They didn't get them because of you. So yeah, you should have to get in some major motherfucking trouble, and he should be, like Matt Walsh said, charged with the motherfucking hate crime. Now, one of the things that shocks me is, this is where this whole episode stems from. You got a group of people that are going to stand with someone that openly lies. Okay, that same group of people didn't like that Judge Regina Chu said there would be no cameras and no live streaming in her Kim Potter trial. They tried to go to her apartment, tried to go to her high-rise, whatever the fuck it was, trying to get to her house. What the fuck? Do y'all understand the lines you're going to cross? And then to go from that to, you have a mayor-elect, Eric Adams, going to tell Hawk Newsom, we're not going to surrender New York City to you. You better not burn it down. Are people still going to defend the group itself? Like, I mean, come on now. Hawk Newsom went on Fox News and had to run back after he was on CBS is what it was on? When he was talking shit to Eric Adams, talking about, there will be bloodshed. There will be this. There will be that. You know what I mean? So, it's definitely some really suspect shit. You know what I mean? Some suspect. But that's why we'll pull that up right now. So, New York Post. Eric Adams talks tough on crime, warns BLM leader Hawk Newsom not to mess with New York City. An impassioned Mayor-elect Eric Adams delivered a tough-on-crime speech in Manhattan on Thursday while repeating his warning to Black Lives Matter leader Hawk Newsom not to mess with New York. We're not going to surrender to those who are saying we're going to burn down New York. Not my city, Adams said in a police athletic league event at the Harvard Club. Last month, Newsom threatened riots, fire, and bloodshed if Adams makes good on his plan to reinstate the NYPD's anti-gun unit. Also, had a message for agitators like the one who destroyed property in Middle Village, Queens after Kyle Rittenhouse's acquittal. We're not going to have a city where anarchists come from outside of our city and go into the community such as Queens and destroy the community and for their own selfish needs or desires. You know, I wish we would have maybe a mayor like this when they was burning down Minneapolis. I know he's a Democrat and, you know, he's going for some shit that he wasn't, he thought Kyle Rittenhouse's verdict should have went a little differently, But there were so many outside agitators in Minneapolis during those riots. That's why half of Lake Street was burnt the fuck down. There was a video of a dude from up in the suburbs. He was on the People's Way, the Speedway right across the street from where George Floyd was killed. He got pulled off the fucking roof, and they said, you need to go back to the suburbs, because that's where he fucking lived. But you was going to try to break into the store and burn it down, rah, rah, rah. But then again, these agitators are also Antifa and Black Lives Matter. They can say, there was numbers like, 10,000 protests and 500, some were violent riots. That's still way too many fucking violent riots. So you can't say, oh, there's so many good ones, and it's just a small percentage. That small percentage ruined how many lives? How many lives were lost? How many lives were ruined? You know what I mean? So no, you can't just like, well, the bigger number didn't have, it wasn't the problem, it was the small number. No. Because I can go back to when a dude shot himself downtown Minneapolis. People was gonna riot till they found out that he killed himself. You know what I mean? Like, let's keep it a buck. At least be fucking consistent. And that's one thing Black Lives Matter cannot be, is consistent. Let's keep it a buck all day. But this shit right here should be raising red flags, should be getting everybody in their mama bothered, hot and bothered. You know what I mean? This is Cortez Rice. This is the asshole that decided that he was gonna posted a live video outside of her apartment door. You know what I mean? Like, you're going too far, bro. Shit's just going too far, and people are supposed to just be A-okay with that and act like it's all gravy, it's all good. And that's why I say it the way I say it, because, I mean, you got a group that's willing to back someone that literally did some heinous shit, whether it's your definition of heinous or not. The man knew what he was doing. He knew that what he was about to do was going to further divide the country. Only difference was the small people in the country didn't really give a fuck and didn't believe him. The only people that believed him were verified checkmark assholes. Kamala Harris, the chick that was in Juno that wants to be a dude. You know, we can keep this going, you know what I mean? It's not hard to say that all the people that was backing him was clearly in the same realm as him. Because it wasn't even believable. That's why so many of these hate crimes that have came out have turned out to be hoaxes, because a lot of them just aren't fucking believable. And when it comes down to actually proving it, there's really no proof. So it gets done for attention or this, that, the other. And it's all fucked up at the end, but yet you still have a group that's like, fuck the police because the police are bad and the police are evil and we didn't get what we wanted when we wanted to defund the police. So now it's always going to be fuck the police and fuck the police, right? Fuck 12. Fuck the police, Joe. Fuck the police, John. Fuck the police, cuz. You already know what it is, bruh. You know, come on now. Like the police, there are some bad apples. Yes, we've all admitted that shit. There are bad apples and good apples, and you need to get rid of the bad apples. But when you openly take the side of a person that was convicted by a jury of their peers on crimes they should not have committed because they had no reason to commit them. You wanted to get a better job at Fox, you should have just went and talked to someone or upped your acting skills. Not the easiest thing to do because you're kind of sucky, but it is what it is. Now you're always going to be known as a liar. Hollywood might work with you because they're fucking weird like that. You'll probably do some interviews, get a little bit of a run to tell your story as to why you didn't do it. Hell, someone could probably give you a Netflix movie or something as to say how you are so apologetic or some dumb shit. But this whole little shit is far from over. Best believe that. We are going to continue to hear about Justice Smollett for a while now. Believe you me. He's still got to go through sentencing. Black Lives Matter is still up to, we can say no good. Look what they're doing. Hunting down judges' apartments, this, that, and the other, because you don't like a judgment they made on their trial. The judge said it wasn't a problem. Kim Potter does not want the video cameras in that bitch, and that's one of her rights. Whether you like that shit or not, you can suck a dick. Like, let's keep it a buck. That's a thing in Minnesota that either the prosecutor or the defendant can choose not to have in the thing. The prosecutor can want all the fucking cameras in the world in there. If the defendant doesn't want them in there, bada bing, bada boom. You know what I mean? Take that shit up with Byron and his lying ass. But that's one thing I wanted to point out is you have Black Lives Matter leaders that do dumb shit, heinous shit, evil shit, whack shit, whatever you want to call it, and then act like they still want to be a leader. Like Pam Moses, an activist, Black Lives Matter activist, gets in trouble takes 10 charges for stalking, forgery, perjury, right? And then she's like, well, they're supporting the leaders, the black leaders of the South. They're suppressing our vote. They won't let me vote. Because you're a fucking felon. That's why. Because you knew what you were doing when you committed the crimes, and it came back to bite you in the ass. That's you don't get to vote. But yet you're still going to make it sound as if the world is doing Black Lives Matter injustice, when that's not the motherfucking case. Then you got Cora's Master Barry, who's going to be running, he's sitting down with Kamala Harris talking about, man, fuck white people. White women do everything the white man tells them to do. We need to get you into office. And I know you're like, well, what does she really have to do with, like, Hawk Newsom, Juicy? Nothing, really, except that Kamala Harris was a big supporter of Juicy Smollett. She did not come out against what Hawk Newsom had to say. She hasn't came out against anything Black Lives Matter had to say. She said support the Freedom Project in Minneapolis, which literally got out she said support the Freedom Project and shit, or whatever it was called in Minneapolis. I don't remember what it was called. But they literally got out a dude that had a girl that killed her best friend, dude that had been convicted, I think it was like twice or 3 times of rape and was in trouble for rape again. Like, the people they were bailing out with the amount of money people gave them to bail people out were not people that needed to be bailed out. And as of right now, we had the dude that in Waukesha that decided that he was going to get $1,000 bail after chasing down his baby mom in his whip, and then go drive into a Christmas parade and kill how many people? Hurt how many people? Then you got the same person. They got another asshole out in New York when it comes to bail reform that decides to burn down the Fox Christmas tree or whatever it is. Nobody really got hurt, but he got literally he didn't even have to pay bail to get out. So this is the shit that people really need to be pointing out and talking about, because these are the people that are going to preach one thing and literally do something else behind your eyes. Like Patricia Kohlers. She was all for Black Lives Matter while they was donating money, and then she went by her family and her house. That money didn't go to nobody else. That money didn't go to any of these families that they use the names of. Like, I'm sure Dante is right, has Black Lives Matter outside of, the courthouse, all this other stuff. And if there was any money going into those coffers, it's not going to his family. It's not going to anything for him. It's not going to his kid. It's not going to the person that he hit in a vehicle after he decided to take off after he was shot. He has some responsibility there in that game too, but you're still going to have people come out and defend that shit. Just like you still have people come out and defend Jacob Blake. Oh, he was checking on his kids. He was checking on his kids. That's why he went to the car. That's why he was walking away from the police, because he was checking on his kids. He wasn't even supposed to be checking on his kids. He wasn't even supposed to be at that house. But none of that matters because of your narrative. So it's real funny that Black Lives Matter jumps on this Juicy Smollett trial. Like, man, fuck the police, fuck their narrative, because Juicy is a black man and he didn't do no wrong. Even if he did wrong, we still back him over to Chicago police because they're fucked up and dirty. The whole department's dirty. Everybody's dirty. This shit's wild, bro. Hollywood couldn't write this kind of stupidity. You know what I mean? And that's kind of just what I wanted to, say, because when I hear other, like, Elijah Schaefer, Steven Crowder, Tim Pool, people talk about these people, man. I wasn't even really going to talk about the Juicy case. But it's just once you start hearing Black Lives Matter, they still back him, this, that, the other. Then you got Eric Adams and Hawk Newsom out in New York. Then you got fucking Cortez Rice in Minneapolis trying to scare Regina Chu. Like, come on now. And he can say, oh, I wasn't trying to scare her. What was you doing outside of her fucking house? Exactly. Let that one sit there, homie. Like I tell everybody, man, stay blessed, stay blazed, stay safe. And all we can say, man, all I can really say is I support black people and I support their endeavors and whatever they're going to do. But I don't have to support Black Lives Matter in the organization that has done nothing to help black people over the course of their entire existence, except use people that have died in heinous ways to further their organization. Not for the betterment of the people, but for the betterment of themselves. So that's why it's always going to be fuck Black Lives Matter. And it's always going to be fuck Black Lives Matter because they also side with Antifa. And Antifa and Black Lives Matter helped burn down Minneapolis. And see, I liked Minneapolis. Democratic little hellhole that it is. Until they decided to let these little progressive fucks run through and burn everything down. And then try to say, well, it was agitators from outside of the place. Really? Then I think everybody that was there on January 6th can say every bad actor there on January 6th was an agitator from out of town or out of the place. They had nothing to do with the main protest. They were just there to be an agitator.